It's time for Lake TV's LOZ Premier Properties from Slumberland at the Lake. And now your host, Michelle Leesmann.
Welcome to the inaugural episode of LOZ Premier Properties. I'm Michelle Leesmann, your host. I am so excited to bring you a couple of the most exquisite properties listed here at the lake. One with beautiful scenery, the other one with an amazing history. Stay tuned for a word from our sponsors, and then we will dive in with the details. Shopping for explosions.
Kyle's a unique guy,
This is really good hot sauce.
to put it gently. Every week, you can see just how unique he can be. With guests,
Maxine the Moose.
interesting locales,
Here we got a new calf.
and whatever this is. Happy Hour, daily on Lake TV.
Ow. Ow, girl.
It's gonna be like a sandpaper loofah, guys. Nobody's gonna get out of this unscathed.
Hey everybody, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're in the middle of our 57th anniversary sale, and do we have some deals for you? Like the sectional right behind me? Dual recliners, cup holders, all for $12.95. Or this super comfy swivel glider recliner. And we have this Ashley sofa available in 2 colors. In need of a mattress? We have the special anniversary edition hybrid mattress, 17 inches. You need to come check out our anniversary sale, Slumberland Furniture. We're bringing happy home.
Want to get to know local leaders better? It's as simple as tuning in to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. Local leaders, celebrities, heroes, and unknown heroes. The Community Spotlight Show every day on Lake TV.
Download the free Lake TV app.
Lake of the Ozarks has more shoreline than the entire state of California. That's right, folks, it's a thing. With that amount of shoreline also comes a lot of listings. On average per week, around 100. It can be a little overwhelming. So I'm going to give you a couple new on the market properties maybe to check out, such as 372 West Palisades, beautiful property. 905 Via Appia Drive, forgive me if I pronounced that incorrectly, but that is a new construction, beautiful property. 182 Vintage ADA 4H, another great property to check out. 451 Wedgwood, another great property. Or 10 Strawberry Field. And lastly, another one I'm going to bring up is 325 Mission Bay. All great properties, all great listings. Feel free to check those out. And if you have a listing or home that you would like to have featured on here, please contact us today and we would love to feature that property. Welcome back. I have the pleasure of being here with Matt Shrimp, broker owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Lake Ozark. Thank you for joining me.
Great, thanks for having me, Michelle. I'm thankful to be here. It's fun to get to showcase one of my beautiful listings, and this house deserves it. So I'm thankful to be here.
Yeah.
This is 164 Crocker Court in Four Seasons, Missouri.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful house I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah. So Four Seasons is incorporated. I learned something new today, right? You were teaching me about Four Seasons just a little bit.
Yeah, so this is a unique property. I haven't seen many like this. It's in the village of Four Seasons, so it has to follow the village guidelines, but it's not in the POA, so it's not in the Property Owners Association. Okay. This is just a point. It's a private road with a point, and this point is not in the POA.
Okay. So, when you're cruising down the lake and you see these houses on these points, I've always just been smitten, if you will, by them because they're gorgeous. They are on this nice, flat, grassy, beautiful piece, and that's exactly what this property offers, which is very unique. A lot of times you want something that you don't have to have a slide to get down to the water, that you can just kind of walk out. So kudos on grabbing this listing, and kudos to whomever is going to pick it up. So what is the lay of the land? There's a lot of water frontage on there. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, this house, it's all about the lot. This is a flat lot, which is, as you know, very, very rare. It's 310 feet of shoreline. It's beautifully landscaped. And so many of these houses, as you mentioned, they're up on a bluff. They've got great views, or they're topographically challenged with tons of steps to the lake. And this house has none of that. It's completely flat. You can get from the driveway through the house to the dock with minimal stairs. So it's perfectly set up for someone who wants to enjoy the whole lot, the whole property versus just the house. I mean, it's an outside experience. You really get to enjoy everything about the property. And if you don't like steps and you still want a great view, this is the perfect house.
So being on the point, and it's at the 6 mile marker, tell us a little bit about the water aspect, like where it's located by water.
Yeah, I grew up here at Lake of the Ozarks and around 6 Mile Cove, and that's where I grew up. And this is just out the cove and to the left of 6 Mile Cove. And as you mentioned, it sits on the point. I remember seeing these homes on these estate lots, these big homes, and I was just in awe of how beautiful they were. And now I get to market one. It's nostalgic. I mean, to get to remind people what the lake was like, and hopefully find someone to appreciate the property as much as the current family has for many years.
Absolutely. So, the inside is just absolutely gorgeous, but one of my favorite aspects of owning property at the lake is sitting outside in the view from the deck, from the patio, from the backyard, and this seems to offer all of that.
Yeah, you have views throughout the house. Anywhere you go on the property, you have amazing views. Everybody seems to congregate at the screened-in porch, and you walk out the living room, and there's a huge area. It's has room for several tables, multiple chairs, tall screened, vaulted ceilings, and from there you can look up the Gravois Arm, so you can see several miles up the Gravois Arm. You can catch sunsets, and it's just absolutely spectacular. You can walk out the screened-in patio and continue around the house, and there you can see up the Osage Arm. So
that's awesome.
It's really cool. So then you can look towards the dam and you catch sunrises.
Yeah.
So you've got places all throughout the property, all throughout the house that have amazing views.
So tell us a little bit about the inside. How many bedrooms, baths, square foot, and what's one of the most unique aspects?
Yeah,
that you would say about it?
It's fun. It's full of character. It's a 5-bedroom, 6-bath house. It has a loft area, which it's challenging for a big guy like me to get up there, but it's perfect for children or smaller people.
Yeah.
That's above the kitchen and looks over the living area.
So it's open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wonderful.
Also has a really big room that is currently being used as a game room. Lots of fun, but could be turned into a sixth bedroom.
Okay.
And it has a private bath, or it could be a bunk room. If you need a lot of beds,
Sure.
you could line the beds up in there. So I think one of my favorite areas is off of the kitchen. There was a dining room that wasn't getting a lot of use.
Okay.
And so they converted it to a living room. And it's just a really neat architecturally designed room. It has a full wall of windows that look up the channel, and it just feels like you're sitting on a boat. And I can tell you, just sitting in that room as it gets dark and seeing all the lights on the water, it's really cool.
With nothing but windows.
Nothing but windows
Oh,
there.
absolutely. So how much can someone pick this beautiful property up for?
It's currently listed for $2.6 million.
Okay. And a dock?
Yes, it does. It has a 3-well concrete dock.
Okay.
It's also very unique that this home is on the main channel, but it sits in a nook. The dock sets a little bit off the main channel.
Really?
Yeah, so you're not getting
Keep adding it on.
quite as many waves as you would on the main channel.
Sure. So this home is at the 6 mile marker.
Yes.
So close to everything, still set back towards the dam. You got the Gravois Arm right there, access to so many great amenities on the water. And then you got Four Seasons, Villages of Four Seasons right there by land. It's so centrally located all the way around. I just think it's a beautiful property. And thank you so much for coming on and showcasing it. And I could only imagine having grown up around all those properties.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to share this with everyone, and would love to answer questions and have the opportunity to show it to somebody.
All right. Well, you guys know who to contact if you're interested. And thank you very much. I look forward to the next time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Hey,
I'm David. When you come to the lake, you're not here to sit on a boat all by yourself staring at the sun till you go blind. There's a whole world of places to go, people to see. Someone's got to know where all the fun is, right? Welcome to Weekend at the Lake. Whether it's a street party, a concert, a charity event, or somewhere to spend time with your kids, buddy, I've got you covered. Weekend at the Lake. Because you're not here to be bored. Only on Lake TV.
Are you ready to own your own piece of paradise and build wealth through real estate? Whether you are planning to relocate and live in paradise full-time or looking to buy a second home or investment property, my team and I can help. I'm Michelle Leesmann, Senior Loan Officer with the Leesmann Mortgage Team at First State Bank. And I know the journey because I've been on this journey. I bought my first piece of paradise here at the Lake of the Ozarks at the age of 18. Let's make your dream a reality. Contact me today.
Don't miss out on your favorite show. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.
What's up, Lake of the Ozarks? It's your guy, Will Holtz. It's time for another LOZ featured doc series. Don't miss it. We're at the 6-mile marker with Missy and Myra Coyle and their family to show you what a day on the lake is like for them when they're not rocking the offshore racing world. Don't miss our next LOZ featured doc series.
We're back. I am so excited to have this guest with us today. I have the Miss Peggy Albers with Albers Real Estate Advisors here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Peggy has one of probably the most unique story listings that I have ever seen. It's not $1 million property, but it has $1 million story. So, Peggy, tell us a little bit about this.
You know, selling real estate is always an adventure, and it's super exciting. You never know what you're going to get.
Especially at the lake.
Right.
Yeah.
You get a phone call, and you're off on the way, and it gets pretty exciting sometimes, and each one seems to be better than the next. But this particular one, I get the phone call, and I head out towards Camdenton by the Indian Burial Cave. It had a good story from the get-go. You know, the guy tells you it used to be an old Girl Scout camp and it was built before the lake, you know, and you're like, okay, like what could be left?
Sure.
I mean,
before the lake was established.
Because the houses in the
flood.
1960s, you know, need quite a bit of work. So in my mind, I couldn't really put it together, but you pull in and it's a little lost cove. That's what the sign says. And it says 1917. That's awesome. And you're like, holy moly. And so you go down the road and the almost like a cobblestone rock, you know, you have 9 little cabins, you know, along the way until, and you don't know which one is yours. Right?
So
and so you're
like,
just like, please let it be on the water. Please let it be on the water, because everyone is not. Right? And then you get down to the water and like there is the cutest little cabin that movie stars and football players have been coming from forever. Mm-hmm. And
visiting.
It is a little 512 little footprint of a house. But what's so unique is the 9 people own the whole 3.5 acres, 650 feet of shoreline.
And they share all of that.
And they share.
You have access to the whole 3 acres.
You have picnic tables, you have a barbecue place, you have your boat dock, so everybody gets a slip, but you're not allowed to rent.
Well, and I can appreciate that.
Right.
Because you've got 9 units on 3 acres and
3.5, and I've never seen anybody there.
Really?
It's like a ghost town from back in the day.
From 1917. That is so cool, though.
It's pure.
And
it's
this
simple.
particular one, wasn't actually a cabin that people stayed in back in the day when it was a girls' camp, right?
Exactly.
So what was it?
Like a wash house. It used to be the wash house, and the main cabin is actually, also listed, but it's not part of like this little corporation.
Oh, it's not.
I guess back in the day, they were offered, somebody came in to buy it, and not everybody agreed. And so everybody has to agree to sell this magnificent parcel. And I doubt anybody agrees for a long time. I'm sure it'll be passed on for generations and generations. But it's for people that just really want to get back to the basics. You don't have a TV, but you have a gentle way to the water.
Right,
with very little steps. And so it's interesting. I can't wait. I just want people to get in it because it's cool just to look at.
Oh, and the history behind it. So by water, is it part of Senator's Cove or is it by Senator's Cove?
It is, and that is kind of one of the funny stories because when I found out it was a camp, I was thinking this camp cost like $150 for 6 weeks. Horseback riding was extra. 10 hours was $25.
Oh my gosh.
5 hours was $15. And the kids got dropped off in St. Louis where like they had to get outfitted and went to Barney's and whatever to get the gear.
Because they had uniforms
and horseback riding gear and all of their swimming gear. So they took the train to St. Louis and got outfitted, and I couldn't imagine who would send their kids.
I know.
Right?
Out to the middle of nowhere
back in the day,
Ozarks.
on a train, and the address is somewhere in the middle of the Ozarks. And so there's a book, and it's a great story, but I guess it was the senator's daughter
that actually established
established it, and I think she married somebody like that designed Camdenton Square and just history. And so for history buffs or people that want something under $400,000, we had it listed at the $399. Coming on the show, the owner said, "Go ahead and give it a good $365."
So $365.
So you got me a price reduction, Shell. And all we had to do is be on the now and then and tell a great story.
And we do. So what's the address?
214 Wigwam, Camdenton, Missouri. Look it up. It is everywhere, but better than looking up, come in.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Look at the
You can't
history.
get in any place for $365,000 and be part owner of a massive.
And have all of that. You have all the amenities. Well, I thank you. You guys will learn more about the history itself on the Then and Now we're going to do. There's a book, Captain and
Tennille. No, the captain and the judge.
The captain and the judge. So just a little piece of history that you could own here at the lake. If you guys are interested in looking at it, contact Peggy and she will be happy to show it to you.
Yes. All you have to do is call 573. Oh, I got to do my plug.
Do your plug.
Peggy Albers, 573-569-8792 with a wealth of knowledge. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, guys. We're going to hear a little bit from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back.
We lift up, we remember the Swift family, the 5 children especially.
So it's kind of scary that somebody might be out there setting all these fires, but 9?
In relation to the death of one person in Lake Ozark last week. Can Camden County wait over another year with Sheriff Tony Helms in control of Camden County? But I have a source close to the situation who said, has he not put a dark enough cloud on our county? Has he not put dark enough cloud on your legacy?
Are you ready to own your own piece of paradise and build wealth through real estate? Whether you are planning to relocate and live in paradise full-time or looking to buy a second home or investment property, my team and I can help. I'm Michelle Leesmann, Senior Loan Officer with the Leesmann Mortgage Team at First State Bank. And I know the journey because I've been on this journey. I bought my first piece of paradise here at the Lake of the Ozarks at the age of 18. Let's make your dream a reality. Contact me today.
Hey everybody, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're in the middle of our 57th anniversary sale, and do we have some deals for you? Like this sectional right behind me? Dual recliners, cup holders, all for $12.95. Or this super comfy swivel glider recliner. And we have this Ashley sofa available in 2 colors. In need of a mattress? We have the special anniversary edition hybrid mattress, 17 inches. You need to come check out our anniversary sale, Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
What's up, Lake of the Ozarks? It's your guy, Will Holtz. It's time for another LOZ featured doc series. Don't miss it. We're at the 6-mile marker with Missy and Myra Coyle and their family to show you what a day on the lake is like for them when they're not rocking the offshore racing world. Don't miss our next LOZ featured doc series.
How much do you really know about the lake? One of the things that we love about the real estate of the lake is the history behind it. So we're bringing in self-proclaimed historian Stephanie McKenzie to do a little then and now segment. So then and now is prior to what this piece of real estate is now. What was it then? Today, we're going to bring up and speak about a property that was actually here before the lake even was.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm not the actual self-proclaimed, but I do love a good little, History Channel moment. So, so that might be it. So what we were going to talk about was Camp Carry On.
So Camp Carry On, and what's really cool is this one is tied in with the property that Albers and Albers have listed that we're also showcasing on this segment.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool. Which was really interesting. So Camp Carry On actually was founded back in 1917. So it was even before the creation of the Lake of the Ozarks.
I thought there was just trees.
Well, yeah.
And hills.
I mean, apparently that's really all that it was, but somewhere along the line, they had this little camp nestled within all of that.
No kidding.
So the Natalie Wilson is her name. So she actually had her education was in physical education. She went to University of Boston, but she was from Warrensburg. And so her friend.
That would be how she knows about this area.
Yeah. And so her buddy was Max Prusline, and at the time, he was a surveyor here at the lake. He had also built camps at the time, and later on down the road, he would have been the surveyor for the Bagnell Dam. Yes.
Part of it.
Oh, and so together those two were best friends, and she already had this idea of she wanted to come up with a camp for girls and what that would look like. He knew of a really great area and was like, well, what about this? And so that area was 3 miles from in which hopefully I pronounce it correctly because it is a beautiful word and a river, but the Niagara. And so she had the first camp put there, which was for all girls, which I find amazing because it was before women could even vote.
So let's pause for a minute. So did anyone realize that the Niagara arm was actually a river prior to the lake being established? And this property is 3 miles off of what used to be the Niagara River. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so from there, they ran the camp there all the way until about 24 through 25, because what was happening was they knew that they were going to be starting the construction on this Bagnell Dam for this Lake of the Ozark, and how was that going to look? So for them, she was like, okay, we're growing in leaps and bounds.
Wow.
So now we need to move. So they moved it 3 miles more down the river. And so, so that
now
is
we're
where
6 miles in on the river.
And that's where you will actually find the permanent structures that are still there. The camp then ran all the way until 42. And then finally just, like so many things.
1917 to 1942.
Yes.
This Camp Carry-On existed.
Yes.
And it was for girls only.
Girls only.
What age range?
It didn't actually say, like on any of their pamphlets or anything, they didn't really specify an age. What I found great was that they were there for 6 weeks. It cost $150. And
$150 for 6 weeks
right.
in 1917?
Yeah. And so, that back then was a lot of money.
Yes.
Now we would be like, that's the best thing ever. So,
But I don't know if we'd ship our kids out into the middle of no man's land.
Because if you look at their brochure, it literally says on the front, camp somewhere in the Ozarks.
Somewhere in the Ozarks.
Somewhere in the Ozarks. I feel good about it.
Yeah.
So
she must have had a great following.
She did.
People to trust to send their daughters out for 6 weeks somewhere in the Ozarks.
Yes.
They obviously trusted her.
They did.
Extensively.
They did. And so she brought Natalie herself, she kind of started running with a nickname of Captain Natalie Wilson. And then eventually she actually married Max. And then he, went on to do his own things, but she still ran these camps. And it was extremely interesting to see that they would put on, it was a military type training or a setting.
For girls only.
Right. And so my mind, I'm like, what? Like, they got little grenades being thrown and they're, digging foxholes and stuff. No, back in 1917, that meant marksmanship, archery, survival skills. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's stuff that we all have done throughout our camps, as I've grown up.
Now.
Right.
But
but back then.
Prior to women even being able to vote.
Exactly. So it was like a huge thing.
Right.
So she had these camps set up. When they moved to their, their secondary spot, they built more permanent structures. So your lunch and dining, all of the cabins that the girls stayed in, the cabins for the counselors. They did not have
a wash house.
Yeah, wash house. They had a tennis area. They had
horses.
They had horses. Yes. I mean, it was really interesting. But of course, all of those were built out of more the stone, brick and mortar.
Beautiful.
Like that was everything that you had. And of course, those structures are there still today.
Yeah, and those structures are now residential units that people own and stay at.
Yes.
How interesting.
It really is. And so, it's kind of like when you look at it and you kind of see all the different camps now, it came from these concepts of the early on camps. But Natalie herself then went into more 4-H settings. She, kind of went around to different states to set up camps. So really, she has quite the legacy that was set up just from, starting here.
I love that the camp itself, we can carry on its legacy. It still is in existence, not as a camp, but the setting and everything they built is still there.
Yeah.
Such a cool story. Thank you for doing all of the research, historian Stephanie.
Oh, let me tell you, if you need to know something.
I hope that you guys have enjoyed this little tidbit of the then and now, ties in with one of our own listings. Such a cool story. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed every minute of this very first episode of LOZ Premier Properties. We really do have some beautiful and unique listings here. And bringing those to you, showcasing the history, the then and now, that's why that we created the show. So I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, enjoy the Lake of the Ozarks.